Manchester United taking on Fulham. Our last home game of the season sees us take on a Fulham side who are already relegated. Now, this is a complete dead rubber for both teams, with Manchester United already secure and pretty much basically confirmed in second position. But I want Manchester United to get back to winning ways. We've seen a horrendous run of form, seen us lose 3 out of the last 4 games, which has put real question marks in Manchester United's in the Manchester United season, because we're finishing it with a shit, and we've got a Europa League final to come, and if we don't get back to winning ways and win that, people are going to look at this season very, very negative. And we have progressed this season, but it's going to seem minuscule if we don't win a title and finish the season in good form and in good spirits and confident going into for the next season. Now, I reckon that Solskjaer's going to go with a fairly strong lineup for this game. Now, we've had a good few days rest now between this and the last game. Haven't played since Thursday, and this game coming up is on the Tuesday. So I would expect Solskjaer to go with a strong lineup in this game and then rest and rotate a lot of players for the game on Sunday, which we've even got a big gap between that game. But then we've only got 3 days before we play the next one, which is the final. So I would expect that one against Wolves to be where he looks to rotate, maybe bring a couple of youngsters in, but I wouldn't expect too many changes to the team for this one myself. We will have to wait and see when, I don't know when the press conference comes out, or if there is one, whether his ideas are for this game, where he's going to maybe throw 1 or 2 youngsters in for this one, and then maybe throw 1 or 2 in for the other game and still go fairly strong in both, or he's going to play a similar lineup to what he did against Liverpool and then play a similar lineup to what he did against Leicester in the Wolves game. I would gather he would do that, but he might mix and match and play half in one and half in another. We will have to wait and see, we really will, for that. But I would go fairly strong, get the win, and just build a bit of confidence if we can do that, getting the win. This is against a team that Manchester United should be beating. If we put out a full strength lineup, I would expect Manchester United to get the job done. That's no disrespect to Fulham, but they're not going to be too bothered either. Manchester United are not going to be too bothered. This is just a game where neither team really want to be out there, because it's just an end of season dead rubber. Now, I would expect, I don't know what he's going to do with the goalkeeper. Henderson wasn't good enough in the last game against Liverpool. Would he bring De Gea back in? I don't know. I reckon he might play this one of them two, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Romero play the last game, to be honest, because it will be his last game for Manchester United. He's come back into training this Sunday, so we'll have to wait and see there, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't give Romero just that run out in the last game, because he's been a fairly decent servant for Manchester United as backup. But I would probably expect, I think he'd go for Henderson in this game, Romero in the Wolves game, and then bring Henderson back in for the final. Or De Gea, sorry, back in for the final. So Henderson, Romero and De Gea, that's how I think he probably will go in terms of the goalkeepers for the 3 games. But it could all change, it could do something different. I don't know, but that's what I would think he would do. Back 4, I think he's going to go for Bay, Lindelof, and he's going to go for Shaw and 2-1 Zabi. That's what I think. Midfield, now midfield's going to be interesting. I don't think he should go for Fred and McTominay. I am going to switch it up here. As I said, I want to go strong for this game, but there is full strength, and then there is a couple of options that Manchester United have still got, that whether it is Manchester United's best team or not, there is still question marks. And the midfield too of Fred and McTominay does give a lot of question marks to a lot of Manchester United fans. I'm switching that up. I'm going for Pogba and Matic in there. This is fucking Fulham at home. If Manchester United can't play with Pogba in a midfield pair against fucking Fulham alongside maybe Matic, I mean, the other two have been horrendous in recent games, so I want to see it. I would drop them two and bring Matic and Pogba in there, and then go with a forward line of Rashford on the left, Greenwood on the right. Then you've got Bruno Fernandes in behind Edinson Cavani. That's what I would go for. I don't know whether we'll go for that sort of team in the Europa League final. I highly doubt it. He'll probably still put Fred and McTominay in there, and then in that, but that is besides the point of this game. But I think if we can't beat Fulham with a team like that out there, then there is problems. I mean, he could maybe have a couple of youngsters on the bench, but I doubt it for this one, I really do. We've got now Dan James back in training, Martial back in training. Could they be on the substitutes bench? There's a very good chance of that, so I wouldn't expect the likes of Ahmad or Shoretiri or Alanga or Hannibal Mejbri to get any game time in this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't in the squad to play Wolves the following weekend, and we did rest quite a few for that game. That would be a complete dead rubber, and we wouldn't want anyone injured before the Europa League final, because that, for me, is such a big game in Solskjaer's managerial career at Manchester United. Because if he loses that game against Villarreal in the final, then obviously real question marks are going to be asked of whether Solskjaer can win any silverware as Manchester United manager, and that is going to be a difficult game for Manchester United. So he's going to want to rest players for that one, but this game is too early to be resting players now. Some players need some game time before that Europa League final, because it's going to be over a week before we play after this Fulham game. It will be a week and 1 day, and I don't think players need that much of a rest, but we will have to wait and see. But I think he's going to go fairly strong for this game anyway. Fulham have been shit all season, to be honest, no disrespect. Mitrovic, I thought, was their standout player to get their goals, but he hasn't really been playing much lately. They're pretty bang average, they're going down, so I don't really, to be honest, I think Manchester United should really be going out there and swatting these aside. But with the form that we've been showing, can we do that? I don't know, to be honest, but I would just like to see some goals, to be honest, if we do, and just get the job done. I mean, if we play shit and win 3-1, something like that, I would accept that. Just get the job done, win this game of football, see a few goals, and just move forward. It's not really anything to shout about this game. Just get this game and this next game out of the way. Hopefully get that Europa League, and then move on to the summer. That's all I want to do for Manchester United. I wish that Europa League final could come straight away. I really do. And this season, the actual league season, could just end, because there's nothing for Manchester United on this, and often you do see, like we've seen, I mean, we should have got up for them games a lot more than we did against Leicester and Liverpool. There's no excuse for that. I mean, he put out 2 different lineups, and both of them 2 teams should be fighting for their place in the Europa League final. Every one of them players, even the players that played shit against the likes of Brandon Williams, who didn't have a very good game against Leicester, they should be trying their hardest to get into that squad for the final. And I don't know who have really impressed over them 2 games. I mean, obviously we know pretty much what the starting lineup will be for that Europa League final, but there's still places up for grabs even along the substitutes bench. The likes of Shoretiri, Ahmad. Will some of these players even make the substitutes bench for the final? And this does give players a good opportunity to impress, with the fact that you get, I think it's 12 substitutes on the bench for the final. That gives Solskjaer options to put on the substitutes bench, and you could be one of them 5 substitutes that come on it in a Europa League final if you're impressing these 2 games, if given the opportunity. So there's still a lot for the players to go out there and try and do, but sometimes when you're the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Greenwood, they know that they're going to be at least on, some of them are going to, at least even Greenwood, going to be on the substitutes bench for the final. And sometimes players take it a bit easy, don't want to get injured, don't want to pick up knocks, and I do understand that. But some of the lesser players, if they get given the opportunity in these 2 games, have got to be looking to take it to try and get themselves in that starting lineup or on the bench for that final. In the likes of Langer, if he could put in a really good performance, he could see himself potentially on the bench if there's any injuries for that final. And what a chance it could be if he ends up having to come off the bench in that. So there is a lot of opportunity here in these 2 games for any youngsters or any fringe players to impress before that game. I think though that Manchester United will win this game against Fulham. I can't really see. Fulham have been poor, they have, and they deserve to go down. No disrespect, as I said. I don't really see where Fulham are going to win this game of football. I really don't. I'm going to go for Manchester United winning this game 2-1. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We can't afford to lose another home game. We've had 6 fucking home defeats this season. Absolute bullshit. So can't allow that to be 7. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What sort of lineup would you go for? Do you think you should full rotate for this or go full strength? Let me know your thoughts in that comment section below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video if you watch it on Facebook, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.